All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. We've got a problem that I've seen on Facebook quite a bit recently. It's a mixed operations problem. This one just has division multiplication. It's 250 divided by 10 times 25. All right, if you'd like to, you can pause the video here. We'll come back and work this one out and discuss it together. All right, so if you remember your order of operations and you're following PEMDAS or BODMAS or basically any of the acronyms, excuse me, you know that you just do the multiplication and division left to right in the order that you find them. So following order of operations, it's 250 divided by 10, which is 25, and then you're left with 25 times 25 equals 625. Now I've seen a lot of people trying to claim that the answer is 1, and the reason that they give for that is that they'll say, well, multiplication is supposed to be first. If you look at PEMDAS, the M comes before the D. Well, the truth of the matter is the order of operations convention is only 4 steps. It's not a 6-step checklist. If you're using PEMDAS or BODMAS or BIDMAS or BEDMAS, it doesn't matter. These are just different acronyms that are used in different English-speaking countries. For example, in the UK, BODMAS is a popular acronym. Just means brackets, orders, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. PEMDAS, which is used commonly in North America, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Now, it does not mean that it's a 6-step checklist and you do them exactly in that order. Not at all. As a matter of fact, if you're looking at PEMDAS, you look at parentheses first, if you have any. If you don't have any, then you move on to exponents. Now, the E for the exponents is a little misleading. That's why I don't really like PEMDAS very well. It also includes things like factorials and square roots. And why is that? Well, because things like exponents, factorials, square roots are all things that are basically shorthand for repeated multiplication. Now, if you don't have any of those, you move on to multiplication and division. Now, multiplication and division have equal precedence, and you just solve those left to right in the order that you find them. So that's why I have them drawn on the same line. I could have wrote DM or MD. It makes no difference. As a matter of fact, when you go over and look at BODMAS, the only real difference here is that instead of parentheses, they use the term brackets. And then instead of the term exponents, they actually use a better term, in my opinion. And I'm from North America, but I'll give a little credit to BODMAS for the fact that orders is nothing more than like a generic term that represents exponents, factorials, and square roots. Orders means just really anything that, again, is shorthand for repeated multiplication. Well, the E in PEMDAS is supposed to represent that, but exponents doesn't really tell you the whole story. And again, with BODMAS, your division and multiplication have equal precedence, and a lot of people will say, "Well, why is that?" Well, division is the same thing as multiplying by a reciprocal, so really the same kind of operation. So they're given equal precedence. You just solve them in the order you find them. Same thing with addition and subtraction. Subtraction is just the same thing as adding a negative number. So addition and subtraction have equal precedence. Doesn't even matter what order you do them. With addition and subtraction, you could do the subtraction first and then the addition last. You could do the addition first and then the subtraction last. Doesn't matter. You're going to get the same answer. Where people will get messed up with that is that they don't keep their signs correct in the problem. They don't keep the operators, the negative signs proper, and they mess it up. Um, but regardless of which one of these acronyms you use, you're going to get the answer of, I'm sorry, not negative 48. That's actually from a different problem. So no, the answer would be, and here it's 625 is the answer. So we're going to make that change right here. All right, so go back to this pointer, and then what I want to say here is that Be careful with calculators too. I've covered this in a lot of videos, covered this more in some recent videos. If you look in the show note descriptions, I have some links in there, some helpful links on order of operations, and one of those covers the order of operations in calculators. So I won't go into a lot of detail, but basically, you have a couple main types of, well, there's other types, but the main types are you either use what's called expression mode or immediate execution mode. So you got to be careful. A scientific calculator or a calculator on your cell phone uses expression mode, which means that you can type in an entire expression of multiple operations and then hit the equal sign, and you're going to get the correct answer because that type of calculator allows you to enter the whole expression. It can keep track of that. Now, an immediate execution mode calculator is a different type of calculator that does not do that. It doesn't mean order of operations is wrong, but you will get the wrong answer if you don't know how to use the calculator correctly. And here you can see that I'm using the scientific mode calculator on a Windows computer, and I get the correct answer of 625. If you were to use the standard mode calculator on a Windows computer, you're going to get a different answer, and it's not the correct answer if you try to enter the whole expression in. Now, if you understand how to use a calculator correctly and you know what a standard mode calculator does, if you understand what immediate execution mode is, then you know that you're supposed to manually you're either going to have to use parentheses in the calculator, or you can use memory functions, or you can just simply do, in this problem, you could do the division first and then do the multiplication. You just have to understand that. Um, so again, I hope this has been helpful, and please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. I will do a quick little rundown of the two types of calculators here for you, and before we end the video, just to kind of show you the difference between possibly with the standard mode and the scientific mode on a Windows computer. But you also have to be careful with that on the, whether you're using your cheap dollar store calculator or a different type of calculator. So hope that's been helpful. All right, so real quick, what I want to do before I show that standard mode calculator, I do want to cover one thing because there's going to be one or two people at the most, I doubt any more than that, that are going to point out the fact that the obulus is not a recommended symbol for division. If you look at the International Standards Organization, or ISO, I think it's an ISO 80,000-2. It's one of their standards. They come out pretty explicitly and say they don't recommend the use of the obulus, which is this division sign. It's the horizontal line with the dot above and the dot below. They don't recommend it for division. There have been different interpretations. I'm not sure in the world where it's still looked at as either a ratio or a numerator-denominator symbol. But in some places, it has meant more than just simple division between the number to the left and the number to the right. As a matter of fact, you can look up Johann Rahn. I believe he was a Swiss mathematician. He had a book called Deutsche Algebra. I think it's Teutsch, I believe I got that right. Deutsche Algebra from 1659. And in that interpretation, I think that was one of the first places, might have been the first place where the obulus showed up as a symbol. But back then, it was considered that everything to the left of the obulus was in a numerator, everything to the right in a denominator. So if you were to use that interpretation here, oh, sorry, let me undo that. Can I undo that? I don't know why I ended up doing that. Well, anyhow, it would basically mean that your 250 would be in the numerator and your 10 times 25 would be in the denominator. So it's basically doing something like this where you'd have, oh, it's terrible, but you'd have parentheses around the 10 times 25. So then it would be 250 divided by And then you do the 10 times 25 in the denominator, so it would be 250 divided by 250, which would give you the answer of 1. Um, so that's really not uh, that's not really how that's normally interpreted today. If you're looking at it as division and you're quoting the order of operations, but if somebody was to come back and say, well, it could be 1 if you interpret it as numerator denominator, just like Johann Rahn did in Deutsche Algebra. So, you could make that case, but unfortunately, most of the people that will try to say the answer is 1 are trying to tell you that multiplication comes before division, which is not correct. That's a misinterpretation of the order of operations. So, wanted to clear that up. Now we're going to move on and show you that standard mode calculator on a Windows computer. All right, so here I've shown you a picture of the scientific mode calculator. Let's do the standard mode. So if I start typing 250 divided by 10, and then I want to say times 25, you're actually going to see here that you do get the right answer. So I was incorrect in this case, and I was thinking about it as I was saying it earlier in the video. And actually, the reason that you're going to run into this, and with other problems, you're going to get different answers between standard mode and scientific mode. But here, the reason why this is working is because you have division before multiplication in this problem. And if you do the division first, and then the multiplication, which is the normal order of operations, it will solve correctly in the standard mode calculator. So you are getting lucky there. You can have some issues where you're mixing addition, subtraction, or addition, multiplication, or addition, division, things like that. You can run into problems. Another thing that kind of helps too is that with order of operations. I think it's in Kenya where I don't know if they still teach it this way, but they actually teach division before multiplication, which is different than the standard order of operations. But if you try it and you work out several problems where you do the division before the multiplication, you're going to find out that you actually get the same answer as if you say, well, just do multiplication or division left to right in the order you find them. You'll get the same answer. So there's really no difference in the outcome between those problems. So this is one of those problems where you do get the same answer on the standard mode calculator. So I take back what I said earlier in the video, but hopefully this helps you out. Please look at the show notes, look at some of the information I do have on calculators and the order of operations if you find this topic confusing. Hopefully those other videos can kind of fill in the blanks and help you out a little bit more. But I hope this video has been helpful. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and I hope everybody has a great day. See you all in the next video.